guys, it's Dee, and today we are going to be watching the Jeffrey Dahmer's top 10 things that they got right and wrong in the show. I did watch it. I didn't like it. It was a bit much. I couldn't watch more than one episode a night. It kind of bothered me a little bit, not gonna lie, but it's okay because I thugged it out and watched the whole thing. I did check out a little bit after certain stuff was said though, and sometimes I was like on my phone because I'm like, oh, too much, but I did finish it. Let me know in the comments if you guys watched it. Are you going to watch it? Did you start it? Did you finish it? Did you get into it? Couldn't finish it? Let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but let's get into it.
What's going on?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, got factually right and wrong.
What I did, I should be dead.
For this list, we're looking at what was fact and what was fiction in Ryan Murphy's Netflix series about the infamous serial killer. Are you watching Dahmer? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. How Jeffrey Dahmer was caught. Right. Netflix's limited series about Jeffrey Dahmer begins with the night a would-be victim survived an encounter with the killer.
Somebody call the police! Help me!
On July 22, 1991, Tracy Edwards spent hours in Dahmer's apartment in fear, waiting for an opportunity to make his escape. And though the way in which he escaped is depicted differently in the series, Edwards did hit Dahmer and ran out of the apartment.
I hit him and I ran towards the door, and he was right there, tried to grab me, get me back in there.
Two police officers went to Dahmer's residence to obtain the key to unlock the handcuffs still on one of Edwards' wrists. Once they found explicit photos documenting some of the murders, Dahmer was apprehended, putting an end to his reign of terror.
Not gonna lie, if you have watched it, those pictures that the police officer seen, that is what made me want to turn off the show. That initial part, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not watching this. But I did thug it out and watched it.
Error.
The officers were stopped by an individual who claimed he was in the apartment and became engaged in a dispute with the owner of the apartment, and left the apartment and called the officers.
Number 9. Dahmer wore yellow contacts. Right. One of the lesser-known facts about Dahmer was his strange habit of wearing yellow contact lenses.
You see my contacts? They're just like the Emperor's. Got him at a costume shop in Kenosha.
He wore them because he felt connected to two dark characters in his favorite movies: the Emperor from Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi, and the Gemini Killer from The Exorcist 3. In changing his appearance to resemble these powerful fictional figures, Dahmer himself felt more powerful and predatory.
That I actually derives a sort of pleasure from watching that tape.
Did you like feeling evil?
No, I didn't, but I had tried to overcome the thoughts, and it worked for a while, but eventually I gave in.
He repeatedly watched the films before he went out to find another victim to bring home, often making them watch the films with him.
What are you gonna do? Told you.
See, and this part is where I would have been gone. I do not watch nothing with horror. I don't watch no scary movies, none of that. And see, this right here would have been like, nope, red flag, I gotta go. See, no.
We're gonna hang out. Gonna watch a movie. Gonna take some pictures.
It's crazy how this movie made him, in a sense, choose violence.
I'll pay you.
Tracy Edwards also testified that while playing The Exorcist 3, Dahmer was chanting and rocking back and forth.
It was like a slow
just
slur,
sat there?
some of that nature, some close like that, I'm not sure.
Did it keep on for a period of time?
Off and on throughout the ordeal.
Number 8.
Oh, see,
how
no.
Ronald Flowers survived. Wrong.
Jesus.
Don't worry, I'm not a cop.
Another survivor of Dahmer was Ron Flowers, who met him when his car broke down and Dahmer offered to help. He took him to his grandmother's West Allis residence and drugged his coffee. But Dahmer is interrupted when his grandmother sees that something is wrong with the young man.
You should take that young man to a hospital.
Grandmas always know.
What?
They feel it. She knew.
Wasted, Grandma.
She was
Well,
like
I'd have
trying
some
to
stranger
help him.
dying in my house.
He'll be fine. Just let him sleep it off. Jeez.
No. Something is not right here.
That
She
part,
is adamant about staying.
I kid you not, this very moment in the show, I was talking to my TV. I was like, yes, Grandma, help this man. Help him. But then I'm not going to lie, a side of me was like, oh my God, take your butt back upstairs. He's going to kill you. Leave him alone, because I really felt like he was. I mean, when he had that rage, I was like, oh my God, he's going to kill her in her sleep.
With the unconscious guest, making sure he gets on a bus the next morning. But her actual involvement in saving Flowers from her grandson has never been reported. Like in the series,
Wow.
Flowers woke up in County
Feel them.
General Hospital.
Where am I? You OD'd. You're lucky to be alive.
But what isn't mentioned is that he was also covered in abrasions and believed
wow.
he might have been assaulted. He later testified that he didn't know how he got there, though the series provides a fictional scenario.
A guy I met last night, he was weird. He must have slipped something in my drink. Dude tried to kill me.
Number 7. Dahmer posed in yearbook photos. Right.
How did he get in there?
I don't know. Dan, how did you not catch this?
I'm sorry, I didn't see him in the
That's
photo.
your
one job.
goddamn job, Dan.
One
The
job.
Netflix series
One job,
mainly
Dan.
follows Jeffrey Dahmer as an adult. But a flashback to him in high school shows him sneaking into a yearbook picture for the Honor Society, despite not being a member. Yes, he actually did this, and his face was subsequently blacked out of the photo. My Friend Dahmer, both the graphic novel and its film adaptation, go further into the prank and the other club photos he infiltrated.
Excuse me, what do you...
She said, not today, Satan.
Is that really necessary?
Yes.
Former classmates have described how his bizarre
Imagine going
behavior
to
in
school with
school
him and
quickly
watching
went
this.
from entertaining to
That's
concerning,
crazy.
given his heavy drinking.
And I remember sitting next to him in a first period, I believe, history class, and he
In the morning?
had a styrofoam cup of scotch. I believe it was scotch.
Okay,
And
I know,
remember saying,
scotch
"Jeff,
is
what
strong."
that?" And he threw his head back and he shook it and he said, "It's my medicine."
Number 6. Dahmer killed Dean Vaughn. Wrong. In episode 7, Glenda Cleveland meets Dean Vaughn, a new resident of the Oxford apartments.
Sorry I snapped on you. You gotta be careful in this neighborhood.
Well, I'm a good guy. Scout's honor.
She sees him talking to Dahmer in the hall and is visibly concerned. The series doesn't follow through with his story, but it does point viewers in a certain direction.
I thought he killed him. You can't blame it.
However, Vaughn was really a tenant in the building. He was found strangled in his upstairs apartment in early May 1991. Dahmer was questioned about the suspicious death before he was
You
arrested.
can't put it past
and
him.
again
You can't put it
when
past
he was
Dahmer.
eventually caught. Both times he denied knowing him, and no evidence was ever found connecting him to the crime.
The only thing that I will say about that part is I feel like Dahmer was pretty blunt about what he did, why he did it. Like, he held nothing back. So in a sense, I kind of would believe that he didn't do it, because if he said everything about the other ones, obviously if he's saying he didn't kill that one, then who did? Now we have to investigate him, the one that died.
As of 2022, the murder of Dean Vaughn is still unsolved.
And what about Dean Vaughn? You was talking to him in the hallway, then I never saw him after that.
Netflix got us thinking he killed more than what he really did.
Number 5. Baptized the same day as John Wayne Gacy's execution. Right.
So you've never done construction work before?
No. Well, like I said, it's just stuff around the house.
This
helping
part
them
kind of
out,
threw
you
me
know?
off
The
because I was a little
beginning of
confused.
the final
I've never heard of the
doesn't
guy,
open
never
on
heard
Jeffrey
of the story.
Dahmer, but rather another infamous serial killer, John Wayne Gacy, aka the Killer Clown. In the 1970s, Gacy took the lives of more than 33 young men in Illinois until he was arrested in December 1978.
Gacy was the epitome of evil, and he was the epitome of being a great guy, which gave him the ability to be the most evil guy in the world.
For 14 years,
Wow.
the convicted murderer was on death row at Illinois' Menard Correctional Center, and on May 10, 1994, Gacy was executed by lethal injection.
John Wayne Gacy was pronounced dead at 12:58 a.m.
He got a much easier death than any of his victims. In my opinion, he got an easier death.
Kind of curious
than he
about his story, I'm
deserved.
not gonna lie.
But the important thing is that he paid for his crimes with his life.
Meanwhile, in Wisconsin, Dahmer was being baptized by Minister Roy Ratcliffe. And, as it's briefly mentioned in the series, a partial solar eclipse also occurred that day.
Because I
What
think
does
he's
it
gonna
all
need more
mean?
than a baptism.
We don't know, but this connection between two notorious killers is definitely eerie.
Congratulations, Jeff. You're saved.
Thanks. Thank you.
Number 4, victim impact statements. Right.
I would like to say to Jeffrey Dahmer that he don't know the pain, the hurt, the loss, and the mental state he's put our family in.
One of the most heartbreaking parts of Jeffrey Dahmer's 1992 trial was hearing the impact statements.
That was hard.
After sitting through the details of his crimes, family members of the victims had
I
the
did get
opportunity
emotional.
to
I'm
address
not
the
gonna
court.
lie.
One of the more harrowing statements
The
came
one
from Rita
that
Isbell, the
recreated
sister
this scene,
of Errol Lindsay.
She deserves a trophy. She deserves her flowers because that was amazing. It broke me.
The series recreates the emotionally charged moment with actress Deshawn Barnes, who embodied the palpable pain, anger, and sadness of Isbell in her performance.
Now, I don't want to ever have to see my mother go through this again. Never, Jeffrey! Jeffrey, I hate you!
And Dahmer's own statement took a lot from the real-life one.
That I did what I did, not for reasons of hate. I hated no one.
Number 3, Glenda Cleveland lived at the Oxford Apartments. Wrong. In the series, actress Niecy Nash plays the role of Glenda Cleveland, a woman who is often overlooked in the Jeffrey Dahmer case. She interacts with him, mostly to complain about the smell and noise coming from his apartment through her vent.
I gotta say, that smell is worse than ever.
Is it?
The real Cleveland actually lived in the building next to the Oxford Apartments.
What?
The character is likely a composite of Cleveland and Pamela Bass, the woman who lived across the hall from Dahmer, who possibly
Why didn't they
unknowingly
just
consumed
put two
human
people?
meat given to her by her neighbor. However, Glenda Cleveland did continuously call Milwaukee police after her daughter Sandra Smith and niece Nicole Childress told her about a boy they tried to help. Number 2, Milwaukee police officers returned.
See, now I feel like I have to go watch the interview because I'm like, okay, who's Pamela? Like, me watching this, I'm like, I felt like I kind of knew all of his story. But now looking in, no, Pamela and the other girl are two different people.
A victim back to Dahmer's apartment. Right.
That was sad. That was
In
horrible.
late May 1991, some young women, including Smith and Childress, found Conorak's synthesome stumbling in the streets, not in the Oxford Apartments hallway as shown in the series. They called the police to help the very young-looking boy.
He was holding on to me with a really, really strong grip, and he was trembling, he was shaking.
Wow.
So I just stayed with him, and I was like, I'm gonna get you some help.
But when Dahmer came back to his apartment, he convinced officers Joseph Gabrish and John Balserzak that synthesome was of age and his boyfriend. In the series, Cleveland is at the scene confronting
so
police,
wrong.
trying to tell them that he was a minor.
Wait. You just gonna let him take this baby back inside?
Ma'am, he's telling me this is where they live. We're gonna take him back inside.
And this was another part where I was screaming at my TV because I'm like, are you serious?
We'll handle it from here.
I'm really sorry about this, everybody.
Despite protests from the women, the officers escorted Dahmer and his incoherent boyfriend back to his apartment. When the police left, Dahmer killed him. Tragically, this poorly handled ordeal actually happened. After Dahmer's arrest, Gabrish and Balserzak were suspended, but later reinstated. Number 1, Dahmer always wore his glasses at trial. Wrong.
Mr. Dahmer, before I impose sentence, I understand you have a statement you'd like to read?
Yes, Your Honor.
Towards the end of the series, Jeffrey Dahmer goes on trial for the murders. While the majority of the scenes are accurately recreated, there's one detail that was different. Evan Peters as Dahmer almost always wears the killer's trademark glasses. But the real Dahmer specifically did not wear his glasses throughout
why didn't we
most
have
of the
the glasses
trial.
off?
His reason? He didn't want to look the jury or victims' families in the face. Yes, it's a small inaccuracy in a largely true-to-life series. However, his decision to remove his eyewear is significant because it shows that he was unable to face his crimes.
Because I didn't feel accountable to anybody. I didn't feel that I had to face what I had done ever. And so there comes a point where a person has to be accountable for what he's done. Can't go around making excuses, blaming other people or other things.
Did you enjoy this video?
Check
out these other clips from Watch Mojo. And be sure.
So now that you guys know this, if you have watched the Jeffrey Dahmer show on Netflix, are you guys a little mind boggled right now? Are you guys a little like, really? I mean, I get in a sense, you know, it's Netflix. They have to make the show more, in a way, enjoyable. You know, they got to keep the viewers wanting to watch. So, I mean, I feel like it wasn't that many wrong. But for me watching this show, I feel like there was so many red flags for the victims. I'm like, oh my God, why are you guys going in there? Why are you guys going in there? But I mean, still, rest in peace to all those victims. It is hard to watch for me. But let me know in the comments what you guys thought. Let me know in the comments what you guys want me to react to next. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.